For years, I tried so many things to improve my life, but it was always so hard to get things to stick. And as a father, I knew that I needed to show up as the best version of myself. But I found myself making all of these big shifts and trying to implement these things that always failed to stick around long term. And somewhere along the lines, I adopted a much more micro approach that I now use with all my clients, and I'm just convinced that when you make things smaller, it's always easier to see progress. So, here are 12 of my favorite habits that take you less than a minute or two to do each. Number one, batching. One of the easiest ways to save time and also stress is through batching. Whether you are grilling a bunch of burger patties for the week, you're reviewing all of your team's reports in one setting, or you're knocking out all of your family errands in a single day, or maybe you're doing your entire inbox, addressing all of your emails in one block of time. Uh, Whatever it is, doing similar tasks together saves so much mental energy, and it keeps you from like switching contexts all day long. When you batch, you're just protecting your focus. You stop wasting energy with all the starting and stopping of different tasks. And if you can batch your meal prep, your creative work, or your errands, or anything like that, you'll notice that you feel a lot less scattered and a lot more accomplished by the end of the day. Number two is time blocking. This was a major game changer for me. Was beginning to kind of block out portions of my calendar. I started doing this years ago as part of a pursuit to live a much more focused and intentional life, which I wasn't doing a great job of at the time. And it's not perfect, but it does keep me a lot more anchored. I take the most important task for the day that I determine as part of my evening and morning routine. More on that later. And I schedule them as literal appointments on my calendar. They get treated like meetings with myself. And when that time arrives, I show up. There's no guesswork, there's no endless to do list, there's no wondering what to do next. Number three, joint calendars. Few things have helped my marriage more than sharing a calendar with my wife. So when you're planning time with friends, you're setting appointments, you're looking at the week, we both know exactly what's happening and when. We have a process that we use to refine this even further in our weekly family meetings, and it removes friction, it prevents all the double booking, and honestly, it just honors my wife a lot more. We're not living these kind of two different schedules and occasionally bumping into each other. We're living more of a shared life on mission where our family moves as a unit. Number four, the 5 second rule. This idea is simple. Whenever you hesitate, count down from five, four, three, two, one, and take action before you hit zero. It works for stuff like getting out of bed when the alarm goes off, or stepping into the cold plunge when your brain is like, no. It works for getting off social media. If you're like trapped in a death scroll at night, it just interrupts hesitation. And it is crazy how helpful this has become for me, and how helpful it can be for you if you work at it. Number five is the 2 minute rule. This one is also very simple, but it's incredibly helpful. If a task takes less than 2 minutes, do it now. Don't add it to the list. Don't save it for later. Okay. I use this a lot in our family meetings. When something small comes up, like a quick budget fix or a text that we need to send to a friend, or maybe a short business task that we identified, we just handle it on the spot. It keeps me from draining so much energy with all of those little undone things piling up on a list. And it keeps us sane, quite frankly. It is so overwhelming to have such a long list. And if we can just prevent little things from piling up and just do it now, it's an absolute game changer. Number six, 5 minute clean sprints. So, with five boys under 10 in the house, messes are a given. And if you're a parent, you can relate. But we have learned to make cleaning easier by tackling it in small sprints. We call them 5 minute sprints, 5 minute clean sprints, whatever you want to call it. And we just set a time where we tell the boys pick up 10 things each, or 20 things if they're older. And sometimes we crank some music, and then we just move fast and we get it done before anyone can complain too terribly much. And these are not just to create order and to keep our home manageable. They are to teach our kids that they are supposed to be bringing order out of chaos, that they can take part in bringing peace to the home. Sometimes my wife will actually just ask them, she's like, look around at the room. Does this feel peaceful right now? Or does this feel chaotic? And they can usually feel and articulate the effects of the mess, and they begin to understand. Okay, number 7, take radical action on focus. Focus is one of the most underrated spiritual disciplines in a distracted world. And so I've begun to build these boundaries around mine, if you want to call it that. Have created a do not disturb setting on my phone, and it's titled Take Radical Action. And it blocks all calls, all notifications, except for from my wife and a few essential apps like my calendar. There's no group text, there's no news alerts, there's nothing. Even my dad and my mother-in-law were commenting the other day about how every time they call, it just goes to voicemail and they have to send me a text. And I'm like, yeah, that's kind of the point. We live in one of the most connected eras of human history, and our attention span is taking a massive hit as a result. And it's time to take back your focus. I mean, our attention span, according to recent research, I think is like 8 seconds. It's less than a goldfish. So it is wild what technology is doing to us, and you got to take control. When I'm in work mode or family mode, I end up being a lot more present because every ping and every notification is a small invitation for you to lose focus, and nothing will erode your leadership and effectiveness faster than just a constant distraction from your phone. Number 8, iPhone background as liturgy. My iPhone background says there's enough time today for what the sovereign Lord would have for you to do. And it's really simple and helpful for me. When I pick up my phone, the first thing that I see, thanks to my do not disturb settings, is not notifications, it's not noise. It's this simple truth that is so critical for those of us who are chasing better focus and productivity. It reminds me that my job is not to conquer the world, not to conquer my whole to do list. My job is to be faithful to the portion of God's work that He entrusted for me today. I can then rest well knowing that the time that I have is the time that I need if I use it well. Okay, number 9, evening reflection. 3 wins, 3 expected wins. One of the most powerful habits that I've adopted comes from Dan Sullivan's book, The Gap in the Gain. And I have created a kind of short evening reflection that just takes a couple of minutes, but it completely changes the way that I end my day. And it changes also how I wake up the next morning. And I'll talk more about that next. But here's what I do before bed, I just take a few minutes. I look back over the day, sometimes look at my calendar, and I jot down 3 wins. These aren't just achievements or big moments, although they can be, but they can also be areas where God just allowed me to notice growth, like experience joy or learn something meaningful. It could be a sale that I closed at work. It could be an improvement I noticed in how I delivered a boardroom presentation. It could be a tough conversation with an employee that I handled with way more patience than I normally do, or even a conflict that didn't go well, but it left me wiser on how to handle that situation next time. Yes, these can be negative things that are repositioned as wins. So you're training your mind to notice how the grace of God is allowing you to live well. Then comes the second half, 3 expected wins for tomorrow. Look at your calendar, think about the day ahead. What are the opportunities? Where do you want to show up well? So this might be a big project that you have to attack with a lot of focus. Maybe it is choosing patience in a stressful meeting, and maybe it's choosing to show up with full attention to your daughter's piano recital. Just write those 3 things down. This simple act builds a little bit of anticipation, and you begin to look for the wins in your day more often, which is helping your mental life and your focus. Okay, number 10, morning priority. Part of my daily 15 morning routine is identifying the one thing that matters most. And this was borrowed from Gary Keller's book, The One Thing. I ask, if I were sick all day and I could only get one thing done, what would make the biggest difference? What's the one task that makes everything else easier or unnecessary? And then I write it down. And that goes on my focus first. And that's what I put into time blocking. I make sure that there's space for that one thing. And it's amazing how much clarity one simple question can bring. So, if you're interested to learn more about the entire Daily 15 framework, since that's only just a small part of it, you can step into a more durable fatherhood by checking out the Durable Fatherhood link down below, and you can find out all about the Daily 15 framework. All right, number 11, cut 20 minutes of fluff. This one is so wild. Every day we lose more time than we think. Just a few minutes scrolling here and a few minutes, messing around between tasks over here, and it adds up. If you can cut 20 minutes a day of fluff, then it is 121 hours per year of time back. That is 3 work weeks. That's crazy. If you simply take a minute each day to evaluate where time was being wasted and take a moment to decide how to avoid wasting that time next time, then you can add 3 work weeks back to your calendar for the year. That is nuts. That's crazy. Okay, so if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and keep up with the ways that we are helping busy Christian fathers unlock leadership at home without sacrificing success at work. And if you found this video helpful and you liked it, you're going to want to subscribe to our email list. I send out one super practical email every week to help you unlock your leadership at home and become an impactful father. I'll leave the link below, and that's a wrap. I'll see you next time.